So we have 20 minutes.
So good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this webinar on the PHC Siam Mobility Program, which is a Franco-Thai program that helps researchers in Thailand connect with collaborators, researchers in France. And we have excellent presenters with us today who are going to both describe the program, but also we've got Dr. Duwangjai, who will share her personal experience as a PHC Siam Mobility awardee. And then we'll have Dr. Jenny Malco, who will show you how EURAXESS can help you if you make that move to France as part of this program. So my name is Simon Grimley. I work with the International Cooperation Department here at the National Science and Technology Development Agency, or NSTDA. And we're pleased to be co-organizing, co-hosting this event with the French Embassy, with the Ministry, with MHESI, PMUB, and EURAXESS. So enough for me. Let's get started. I would now like to introduce you to our first speaker for today. His name is Dr. Guillaume Da. He is a good friend of NASDA, with whom we've been working closely for many years now. He's the attaché for scientific and higher education cooperation at the French Embassy in Bangkok. So he will give you an overview of the program, and he'll share his presentation with Mr. Benoit Taillou, who is a cooperation officer within Guillaume's section at the embassy. So let's get started. Guillaume, over to you. Guillaume, I think you're on mute.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you. All good.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Simon, for the introduction, and thank you to, of course, NSTDA and EURAXESS. Very strong collaboration that you have, and to have us on board for this. It's always good to have this opportunity. So we'll try to be straight to the point today regarding the program that might interesting some of the participants here. And by doing that, we'll start maybe presenting few slides about what can we offer and how you can implement or initiating new projects together between Thailand and France. Can you just go to the second slide, please? Okay, so France could be a destination for research, just for some figures that you may have in mind for, but France has quite a complex, actually, research and higher education systems, where you have the coexisting presence of research organization and higher education establishments. But generally speaking, you can find some researchers in all these establishments. Some are very famous, like CNRS, as you may know. It's a very large research center, national research center, and others like CIRAD and IRD and INSERM also are more specific in terms of topics. And some are eventually actually here, as they have some representative office in abroad. And for Thailand, there's actually CIRAD, there's IRD, and EURAXESS. They are listed here on this slide. Just to say that, so as a researcher a Thai researcher in a Thai research organization or Thai university, you are eligible to apply and to be connected to your counterpart in France or to academic research, of course. Just to say that also research is a very important sector for France, and just one figure is like almost 50% of the PhD students, they are from actually foreign countries. They are they are coming from abroad. I mean, that's a very significant number, I believe, to illustrate that France is collaborating extensively with other countries in research and put a very high attention to the work done by the PhD and, of course, postdocs and researchers as a whole. So can you go to the next slide, please? Yes, so as far as we are concerned here at the French Embassy, I'd like to mention that we will focus today on one of the three main programs that we actually coordinate here, but jointly actually set up. This program were jointly set up, and actually we're still going on in that direction of a joint program construction or joint scheme with Thailand. And we have here on this slide, you can see there's different types of program, and they correspond to different types of people, I would say. Whether you are a student, on the left side, it's individual scholarship for master and PhD students in blue color. In the center, it's for a postdoc. Let's say postdoc. It's a junior individual fellowship as well, and we are very happy to have some people and to testimonial today. They were involved, and she was involved. You will see her testimonial in this program. It's also an individual fellowship, and the third program that we would like to focus today is a PHC Siam program, as it was mentioned by Simon at the beginning. So it's based on research and the ability for both sides, like Thailand laboratories together with French laboratories, to establish a joint project, research project. And this program, and as far as the embassy is concerned and the ministry and different founding agency, I would say, are concerned, they support the mobility. Right, they support the transportation costs and the allowance for the researchers to stay in both countries. But it's not an individual scheme. It's a staff mobility scheme. Next slide, please. So you may take more attention to this slide because it's quite recurrent from one year to another, that we have these three different programs, and they are split all along the year, and it's annual call. So they have three colors here on this slide for the three different programs I mentioned on the previous slide. And in the center, the PHC Siam, which has been launched, actually officially open for a submission yesterday. And it will be open for submission until the July this year. So after that, I will let like Benoit later on to explain, but after that, just for you to have in mind that it's an evaluation process which starts on July to select project to be started in January or February 2023, so the year after. So we are talking about a program or applying to a program for next year. Next slide, please. So I don't want to go into the details, and we will share the presentation, but these are the different programs and different basic information you may need for the scholarship program on this slide. Next slide, please. And the second program also I mentioned, the individual fellowship. Maybe what is important here is you can combine also, you can have a strategy in maximizing your chance to be selected or to be in one of the three programs. But if you are laureate of one program, you cannot combine at the same time. You stay in France having an individual scholarship with a scholarship or support for another program, right? So, but you can see that there's multiple ways. And in the PHC Siam program, if you are a PhD, you can be a part actually of the participants in the program. Next slide, please. So when we talk about PHC, I'd just like to mention on this slide, to illustrate here on this slide, that the PHC for France is a very important tool that is deployed in the world, in 70 countries more or less. So it's always bilateral, not always, but mostly bilateral programs with joint agreement with the countries. So here with Thailand, of course, it embarks the Ministry of Higher Education, Science, Research, Innovation, but also the agencies and universities. And it's by doing this dialogue that we have established this program, bilateral program, for more than 10 years now with Thailand and France. So next slide, please. Just like to show you something on the next slide that's for Southeast Asia, for Asia and the Pacific, I would say. You can see that it's not all the countries who has this type of programs, but Thailand has one for many years. And there's some reflection also for the evolution of this program, for regionalization of this program in the future. But just to say that it is strongly supported by our ministry. There's no chance for this program to disappear or to, and of course with COVID situation and the pandemic situation, like others, I believe that many other programs has suffered, but it has been also adjusted to keep the momentum on the collaboration. Of course, unless there's some very big constraints in the mobility, international mobility. But that's a very important tool for France to support mobility of researchers from both countries. Now I think I will, next slide, maybe let some Benoit to give you more information about this mechanism. Thank you.
So I will start with the next slide, please. Okay, so as Guillaume said, I will now have a focus on the PHC Siam program, was been officially launched this week. So this is one of our mobility program support at the embassy. As mentioned, it's aimed to support staff exchange from both French and Thai side, based on a collaborative research project between the two teams. This is a co-funded mobility program. Namely, it is co-funded by the French government through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Campus France from the French side, and through the MHESI and the Thai University from the Thai side. What I would like to underline this year, even if it was also the case last year, but now it is clearly indicated in the call, is that it is allowed to every agency under MHESI to apply as PI. So every researcher, whether from a university or from a research agency under MHESI, can apply as a PI. So every kind of agency or university under MHESI can, on the Thai side, be part of the mobility scheme, even as a PI status. From the French side, every research institute, university, or laboratory can apply to be part of the project. The goal of this program is to aim to impose a long-term collaboration between a French institution and a Thai institution. So the idea is to trigger dynamism and trigger collaboration through one project to build in a future a strong collaborative ground for the two institutions. The process is quite simple. The project is submitted from both sides, French and Thai, and there is an evaluation from both sides at the French ministry and at the Thai ministry. And then there is a joint committee where a decision, a final evaluation is made, and to make a selection among the pool of application. The criteria include the quality of the project on scientific ground, involvement of young researcher, because as we said, we aim for long-term collaboration, and the complementary because both sides. So we can go to the next slide, please. Yeah. So as I said, the launch has been, the call has been launched on the 9th, and it is open until late July, on the 29th exactly. And then the process is we submit all the application to both French and Thai side on November. And then in December, we have a joint committee of the two French and Thai committee to take a final decision. And we accept, oh, there is a little mistake, actually. The result will be published on January 2023, when the project can start after the result. We can have the next slide, please. So based on the review we had about PHC Siam since 2007, we had almost 150 bilateral projects funded by the PHC Siam. We take here the different classification of field of research and the repartition, the way of the distribution of the quantity of projects funded through this program. In 2019, an impact analysis project has been done by the ministry on the PHC Siam in order to have a clear view of the actual impact of such a program. And what this program showed, it was that the distribution of the field of research of the project is likely similar to the number of submitted applications depending the field of research. So it aims to show that there is no bias in selection based on the field of research. Of course, as we can see on the graph, there is many projects funded in biology, for example, or in engineering, for example, and a few in humanities or sociology. But actually, this quantity reflects on the actual quantity of projects we receive in each domain. So what we want to do, and together with MHESI, is to encourage every field of research project to apply and to not worry about the eventual thinking of the fact that we can have a bias on the selection, because it's not. We actually encourage every field of research to apply. Can we have the next slide, please? So this is another result of the impact, the analysis of impact of the program, that we, the PHC Siam, aim to underline to grant, to take into account the involvement of young researchers in the program. So as you can see, we kind of manage to maintain this objective, as the age of the PI are quite young compared to others bilateral program in our program. And well, the other one show the same on a young researcher, not as PI but as a part of the project. Can we have the next slide, please? Okay, so here is an example of project output. What we aim, of course, at with this program is to trigger collaboration, and of course, one of the item can be triggered by such things is is the publication and co-publication of the two institutions. And what has been shown is that the PHC Siam is quite successful as triggering new collaboration and co-publication opportunity. But I guess that our testimony after that can actually provide some proof of that. Can we have the next slide, please?
Okay. Thank you, Benoit. So just to tell you that beyond this program, you, or maybe in relation to this program, you can have also other ways to collaborate or to initiate collaboration with France or to complement collaboration for PhD. For your information, so of course we contribute to the RGG program supported by NRCT, but there's also a national program from France, AFL program, and other types of program that have to be launched. But more importantly, I would say, I mean, last but not least, is you have in Thailand the possibilities to be in touch and to liaise with the research organization themselves through, of course, NSTDA, and thanks to NSTDA, it has been done in the past, namely with CIRAD and IRD. You have representative, you have permanent researchers based here in Thailand, and that may be a very good way to start also to investigate complementary funds or other kinds of schemes that can be actually relevant for establishing research. So just to say that it's flexible enough, and there's a large I would say batch of programs and schemes, and the idea here is to combine schemes and to tell you and to share the information that we are flexible, I think, in discussing this together with the organization, either French or Thai organization in Thailand and in France. So with this, we'd like to thank you very much. And if you have any question, I see that some questions in the Q&R already. So what I can tell you is it has been launched this week, and so we are ready to respond to your question. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Guillaume, and thank you, Benoit, for that excellent overview. Yeah, a few questions have come in. One question, and I think this might be on the minds of many. This PHC Siam program, is it just funding for mobility, or is there funding available to actually conduct research?
So as Benoit, thank you for the question, and as Benoit said before, that it's supported by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Mm-hmm. The basic principle is when the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is supporting programs, is supporting mobility. So the large amount of support from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is for this program. So it's mobility. Okay. Exceptionally, for example, during COVID, there were some adjustments because of the non-possibility of transportation and restrictions to COVID in both countries. So it has been adjusted slightly, but slightly adjusted enough, adjusted to get some possibilities for logistics and materials. But in general, the idea is mobility only.
Okay. Then a sort of more of an administrative question, I guess, that's come in. Is this program under the management of Campus France, or is it under the embassy, or maybe just explain?
What is the role of each of the, maybe through the mechanism we can see on the slide that Benoit shown the timeline from selection. So I don't remember the number of the slide, but anyway, I can tell. Yeah, maybe I can. Yes, one more. Yes, this one. So what happened when you submit a project? So first, as a PI in Thailand, or PI in France, the first thing is maybe to contact, of course, and to agree to submit the same proposal in both countries. And it will be submitted to who? To a platform, right? So it's like a platform to submit either in Thailand as one and in France as one. And so after it goes to a channel of evaluation. And who is evaluating? The pool of experts, the expert committee. Will, depending on the topic, it will be the proposal is the review process. And then after the evaluation will come back to the ministry, France, independently. And at that stage, there won't be independent evaluation in both parties. And after, it comes back to us, the embassy, and we together with the ministry, we have a meeting with the Thai side, and we look at the grades, but it's based on the excellence, on the research, the community research, and this as criteria that are evaluated by the evaluators in those countries.
So, Campus
France, sorry, but Campus France, maybe the role of Campus France is Campus France has developed a platform for submission. So from French side, they will receive this proposal, and I mean the proposal will be down and upload to the Campus France platform in France.
Okay. So if I understood you correctly, the sound was breaking up a little bit, but if the Thai side would submit to, the Thai partner would submit to MHESI, and the French partner submits to Campus France, is that correct?
It's correct, yes, it's correct. And actually we also have Campus France here at the embassy, but it's not, it's like a satellite, team of the head office, which is based in Paris. So basically, physically speaking, I would say the platform from Campus France is based in Paris, and Campus France role here in Thailand is more like to promote rather than to coordinate this program.
Yeah. Okay. A couple of things just, so the call is now open, but apparently the website is not yet updated. When will that be updated with the call information?
So I think in a very, very short period of time, it will be updated. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So just maybe to mention, sorry, Simon, but to interrupt, just to say that it has, we spend a bit of more time to adjust the proposal to clearly show that there's some priorities on innovation, not priorities, but some attention will be paid on innovation, social sciences. So, as Benoit said, that the possibilities that was not clear enough maybe last year for any kind of agencies under MHESI, the NSTA researchers, for example, can submit to program.
Yeah.
That's why it's a bit delayed.
Yeah, I think that's an important point. I mean, I'd just like to reinforce it as well. This is a change from last year. So any of the various agencies under MHESI, NASDA, for example, but there are many others, they can now be a PI in this program, and that was not the case last year. So this is a big step forward for this PHC Siam program. Questions coming in again. Can you please just confirm this? So the funding for PHC Siam is really focused on mobility. There is not funding for research as such, correct?
Correct.
Yep. Okay. Another question's come in here. So if a student already has a Royal Golden Jubilee Scholarship, should they apply to PHC in this round or wait for the next round of the Royal Golden Jubilee?
So maybe because you offer me this possibility, the Golden Jubilee program is supervised by the NRCT, right? But we actually, as long as the student is in France under RGG program, then he cannot combine the support from another scholarship or mobility at the same time. So if we look at last year with COVID, just to illustrate that, And because of the PHC Siam, some projects, awarded projects, they include some PhD students. It was just a matter of adjusting the time when they have the LGG support, in France, and the PHC support in France. But just generally speaking, the PHC Siam program, the duration of stay for a mission to France is quite short, not as long as a support like a
Right.
or like a scholarship. It's a shorter period of time. So it's always possible to combine. And I really invite people to apply and then after to adjust with their supervisor. I think that's maybe the more strategic way of doing it.
Thanks, Guillaume. Good question here. So is there a limitation on the number of researchers that can be exchanged within the one project? So these are 2-year projects. Is there a maximum number of researchers to be exchanged? And I guess presumably that depends to some extent on the budget available per project, but.
Of course, there's no exactly you have the answer, Simon, and actually there's no limitation, but of course it has to be. The proposal, research proposal, comes with a budget proposal, and there's a threshold for the maximum budget to apply. For French side, every year the maximum which can be offered to one project is 12,000 euros per project per year. So it's for a 2 years project is 24,000 euro for 2 years, which covers travel expenses and allowance and stuff like that. So which means that if you have a team of 10 people, it will be very difficult for all to travel. So on average, of course, the Thai side will support, and we will go into the reciprocity, amount of money. So so more or less the maximum is 50,000 euros for the whole project if you combine the support from this. More or less, it's more or less that, which gives you an idea within 2 years how much you can expect and how the ability. So on average, you have 3 or 4, or you have combination of people who are not traveling but are involved in the project in a way. So it's really quite possible. There's a threshold inside if you still have a good year per project.
Thank you. So on the funding, now we're getting into some real specifics here. On the funding, is there a limit, or what is the limit for funding on the Thai side per project?
I'm not sure we can. I mean, there's different because it's a different mechanism. From French side, as we mentioned, it's the money come from Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Foreign Affairs, yeah. Only,
right? I mean, the budget, the money, not only the in-kind money, because people, the experts, and from the Thai side, it will both come from the ministry for transportation cost, and if it's still the case for next year, it's about 150,000 baht per year. So for flight tickets, so maybe Dr. Grunberg can confirm that, and also support from universities. Once actually the people, the research persons, there will be their daily allowance will be supported by the university here in Thailand. So from Thai side, and when they will travel, the Thai researchers, affiliated researchers will travel to France. It will be supported by the MHESI, right? And the other way around. When in France, the researchers from Thailand come to France, so they supported by French projects. So through and the flight ticket of French people the French budget. I don't know. I'm sorry to go into the details, but it's quite the money is really.
So maybe I can ask this then. So for the Thai applicant, if there's an applicant from a Thai institution, where can they get the information on exactly what budget they can work with? Do they go to MHESI for that, or to?
Yes, MHESI has a communication on that. They will make also a specific communication on the early June, So if you, but you can contact them, and we can go and put you in contact if you need, of course. But I believe that also the testimonial afterwards can, if you're okay with that, maybe to share the experience can be interesting so far.
Okay. Here's a good question. This is from somebody who is successful in the Junior Research Fellowship. They received a Junior Research Fellowship in 2014. They had a fantastic experience. Are there any programs for alumni? What would be your answer to that?
So I'm not sure I understand the question when it's any scholarship for alumni.
Yeah, so they've already received a Junior Research Fellowship in 2014. Are there other French programs they could be applying for?
Yeah, sure. I mean, for individual, there's other programs, as I mentioned in this last slide. As far as the embassy is concerned, actually, if she or he received a junior research fellowship before, yes, actually, it's applicable for PHC Siam. It's applicable for other type of program, but for the French embassy, is the three programs we mentioned are the main three programs we coordinate. But there's other possibilities, so maybe you can send us a message to elaborate more on that.
Okay.
Because I'm sure that
Good.
if there's a motivation, there might be a way, you know. So I think it's a matter of information. Yeah.
Okay. So they should get in touch with you and with Benoit, and then you can explore what, how they can continue their collaboration with France.
Sure.
Yep. Great. Here's a question. I think Jenny might be able to, or I know Jenny can help with this in due course. But for you right now, Benoit and Guillaume, if somebody's looking for the French partner, can you provide support with that? So if I come to you and I say, I'm working in this area of marine plastic pollution, can you help identify potential partners for us in France?
And I would say in France, or again, with the activity in research and our French connected research activity in the region. The example you just I quote you on plastic pollution. You have experts in IRD in the region. They are extensively working on this topic as a researchers. So it might be our advice would maybe, or our support would be to connect and to liaise with them to better understand what are the possibilities in the region already, and also in France with the laboratories. So we can help on that. Yes.
Great. Okay. And I think this is a point worth repeating. I know you've made it, Guillaume, but France is really quite unique in this, in the sense that you do have French research institutes operating here in Thailand, and they've been here a long time, and they themselves have extensive networks. So you don't necessarily need to go to France to find your research partner. You've got resources right here in Bangkok, and I think that is something quite unique about France with these sort of I call them embedded French research institutes.
And they have a regional perspective, regional scope. So they may have some connection also, not only in Thailand, but also in Vietnam or in Southeast Asia. And they have project and platform at the scope, like regional scope. Like a PHC Siam so far, we are talking about is more like on the bilateral aspect of mobility. But that's why I think going through this program, it's a good way to travel from those countries, right? Yes, but it's also maybe possible to connect with people in the region and embedded research in the region that may also offer some possibilities and complementary opportunities for research foundings to collaborate with France.
Good. I think this is another funding question, and the question is, how much of the researcher will be funded during the 2-year project? If I understand the question correctly, I think what they're saying is, what can be funded over the 2 years for the Thai researcher going to France? So I think you've answered that. I mean, it's essentially your travel and your living costs is what would be funded.
Yes. And of course, I mean, no visa fees, and you know, this is also some possibilities.
And these are based on the guidelines set by the Thai Ministry of Higher Education, Science, Innovation.
Yeah, I mean that yes, but the daily allowance they will receive in France come from the French budget.
From the French side, yeah, okay.
And the description and the details of that is all in the call. So this has not changed in terms of amount of money. So it is a detail, like for short stay, for more than 1 month, 2 month stay, it will be different, slightly different. So it depends on the of course on the duration of the stay.
So I think when you answered the question about the Golden Jubilee, you were breaking up a little bit. So they've come back again. Just to say, could you just, well, the way they've summed it up, can they apply for both the Golden Jubilee and the PHC Siam? Yes. Yes. Okay, good. That answers that. Perfect. Perfect. If I might, I just wanted to sort of highlight some of the points that I picked up from your presentation by way of summary that stood out for me. So one is the call is open now, right? It's just open, so you've got time. And this would be for projects that would ultimately start in January 2023. This is not the only scheme. You put information on 2 other schemes there. So, and these are annual schemes. So people, if you're not ready this year or you miss the Junior Research Fellowship call, it will come around again next year, which is very positive. The success rate, if I remember correctly, the success rate for this PHC Siam is 25%, which is pretty good. I mean, when you talk about international funding mobility programs, that's very good. The point I'm making once again that what is different from last year is that all agencies, research institutes that come under MHESI, they are now eligible as PIs under this program. That was not the case in the past. And that you've also, as we've discussed, there's a network of French research institutes here in Thailand, and so that can be they can be a good place to go for potential partners. They also have their own schemes, and that's something that is really quite unique about France, that you do have this network of French researchers that are operating here in Thailand, but are also regional in scope. So I think those are some of the key points. Let me just check the questions here. I think that's most of the questions covered. Any further comments from you, Guillaume, Benoit, before we move to our next presenter?
No, thank you. We'd like to thank you for that, of course. And as you mentioned and wrap up, I mean, we are of course ready to answer questions by email, to be contacted for exploring other, or going forward into this connection. If you face some difficulties in having contact with the people in France, please send a message, and don't give up. Don't give up.
Well, and just to make it clear for everybody joining today, Guillaume and Benoit are here in Bangkok. They're not joining us from France, so they're here. So they're easy to reach. Yeah. Okay, well let's hear from. Speaking of France, let's go to France and let's hear from someone who's had experience with this program. They will share with you how they found out about the program, how they were successful in applying, and maybe provide you with some advice on how you can be successful in your application. So I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Duangjai Tongmunitum, who is actually with the Faculty of Pharmacy at Mahidol University, but she's speaking to us today from Chartres in France. So Dr. Duangjai, welcome.
Hello, everyone. Yeah. Can you hear me clearly? Thanks. Okay, I will share this slide. So can everyone see the slide clearly? I am in the first slide.
We can see you very clear.
Yeah, thanks. First, I would like to take this opportunity to express my sincere thanks to Guillaume and also Simon to take me to be a part of this interesting and youthful event to share with everyone here about the experience from being a junior research fellowship program and also the PI from the PHC Siam program. So, ดวงใจตั้งมั่นในธรรม from the Department of Pharmaceutical Botany, Faculty of Pharmacy, Mahidol University. If you have any question after my talk or if you don't have enough time, you can contact me via my email here. So for today's presentation, it will be short because mostly I would like to share the experience I have get from a part of this interesting program. So there are 3 points that I would like to share with everyone today. The first one I would like to share with you, how did I learn about PHC Siam and why I choose this grant. And also the second one, I would like to emphasize how has PHC Siam influenced me in my career. And the last one I would like to share with you, just to take example from my own experience, how to be successful in applying for the PHC Siam grant. So firstly, I would like to a little bit introduce myself. So I just finished my PhD from Chulalongkorn University in the field of botany. So, and then I got the postdoctoral fellowship from Thai government and Japanese government to do the postdoc in Japan. And after that, I get the permanent lecturer position at Faculty of Pharmacy, Mahidol University. Before that, I never have EU partner before. I never have French colleague before, but in 2018, I found the call for proposal of the Junior Research Fellowship from French government in campus fund in Thailand. Just by chance, I accidentally found it by the internet, and I think the call for proposal is really nice. But at that time, I have no idea because I never have a EU partner or French partner before. So I decided to try because the call for proposal is really nice and really attractive. And luckily, I won the fellowship at that time. So my collaboration in EU started at that time. After that, the next year, also we formed a bigger team to apply for the Franco-Thai Mobility Program or the PHC, and we luckily get it again. Here is the project that we applying with French partner for the Franco-Thai Mobility Program, and we got it and just finished the project last December. So for the PHC project, it is a 2 principal investigator, me from Mahidol University and Associate Professor Dr. Christophe Arnaud from the University of Orléans in France. And we have the junior researcher, 1 master student in my team and 2 PhD students from the team of Dr. Christophe at that time that we prepare for the proposals. For the 2-year projects, it's really great and really nice experience. And I'm very young PI. I have learned a lot how to manage and how to run the project effectively, how to solve a large number of problems because we granted in the period of COVID pandemic, we have to do a lot of homework how to run the project effectively. And here is the output of our project. We have 21 publications in the core Taiwan in international journals. And we have 3 book chapters from our project. We have 2 special issues in the international journal. And also we have 2 postdoctoral researchers and 1 tentative PhD student because the 2 PhD is already finished and become our postdoctoral researcher in the team. And also we have 1 international conference from our projects. So the second one is really important point is how has PHC Siam program influenced me in my career. In fact, it's not only influenced me, but it influenced all the team, both of the principal investigator and also the junior researcher in the team. Because as we plan for the project with many experiments and many output and a lot of work that waiting for. So we also aim to grow up a junior researcher in the team together with us. So we have many meetings in almost every month to set up the experiment to discuss problem that we will have to plan for the exchange, for the mobility exchange, to send our junior researcher or even us to exchange between Thai and France. So we plan other activity to grow the junior researcher in the team. Every time we often take them in the meeting to let them see how to manage the project, what is the thing we are going to do. And with this strategy, it's really work. So finally, my master student is going to finish her master thesis the next year, and she would like to continue a PhD student with our teams. And also the two PhD students in the team of Dr. Christophe in France also complete their PhD and become the new doctor in our team. Currently, two of them working with us at the postdoctoral researcher. This is really nice influence, really nice impact that we get from being the PI of PHC Siam projects. And also, to summarize, to be a part of this project, we have really great opportunity to broaden our collaboration, not only in France, but also we have some Spanish colleague and the other one that interested to join us to make a bigger and better collaborations. This is also a very great chance to exchange our knowledge and expertise between the researcher in Thailand and also in France. The other point is it is really good opportunity to develop the research knowledge and skill of our young or junior researcher from the team and offer them the opportunity to learn new innovative research technique and so on. Lastly, but really important, is it is a good opportunity to experience each other cultures and way of life, because so France is in Europe and Thailand is in Asia. There are really different way to think, the way to work, and the way to live. It is good to make a good friends and also to learn like what are the difference, how can we grow up together effectively. And the last point is how to be successful in applying for the PHC Siam grant. It is the tip and tricks that I get from my applications. First, you need to know your deep research interest, and then it will really helpful to develop the proposal that are attractive and interesting for the committee and also for yourself if you are awarded for this project. And also, if you know what you want, you can seek for the right partner. For me, the first time that I start to find a French partner, I never know any institutes. I don't have any friends in France before, but I know what I want to do. I know what is the research topic that I really want to do in France. So I just lead a publication just Google and put the keyword that I would like to work, I mean the research team that I am interested in, and then check like who work on this research team and find a team that I would like to go to work together. After that, you will get the email address of the corresponding author in the publication. I just take that email address and email to him directly, just introduce myself, like who I am and what I want to do, and also invite them to apply for the grant together. You know, it's really good moment because I just sent an email to him, and then he answered me that okay, it's really interesting and let's try, and then we form a team. We develop the proposal together. And the third one is really important. Everyone who want to develop the project for this grant, you need to do the homework on the call for proposal, because the call for proposal of PHC Siam program writing about everything, every issue very clearly. You will know how much the grant you will have from Thai side, from French side. You will know the duration. You will know how to use the money. You will know all of the administrative process that you need to pass if you win and get the grant. So everything is already written in the call for proposal. And also for me, I think I'm very, very lucky because the supporting staff from Mahidol University, there are the unit core served, really provide great support when we submit some international grants. So they help to process the proposal from the university to MHESI, and then after we got the project, they support us for all the administrative process to pass the grant to the project. But the most important is the call for proposal. Everything written very clear and very well in that. And also, the last point is to submit your proposal as well as the related document on terms, because this grant you will need to, if you are Thai principal investigator, you need to submit to Thai side via the university to MHESI, and your partner in France have to submit the same proposals to the campus funds in France via the online system. Sometimes when the French partner submit to the online system, they may have some technical problem. If you submit on time, if there is something happen, you will have the time to manage and everything will be successful on terms. And also for us, we get the grant during the COVID pandemic in 2017. So the last tip that I would like to share with everyone here is how to run the project effectively during the COVID pandemic. For our teams, we always keep in touch to check the situation from both sides, like when we can send the staff to exchange, was it the plan when we exchange, if something happened, for example, in the first year, going to go to France, everything is ready, the visa is ready, everything is well prepared. But 2 weeks before I travel, the government from both countries closed the border because the pandemic quite very severe, so we have to stop. And how say, we have to change the plan and have a meeting again to do what we can do in our own country, and then find a suitable period to exchange. And always discuss together, because it is really important to find the idea to solve the problem, or when you experiment or everything is go off effectively, you need to discuss like what's next. And also well prepare for both the administrative process, because this is the mobility program. You need to travel and exchange. There are a lot of administrative process to prepare for visa, document to go to France, and so on. The campus funds in Thailand staff really provide a great support. You will feel very warm. They will always help you, but I think the important point is like to keep contact with them. If you need help, inform them as early as you can. And also the last tips and trick is to go up together. If you develop the proposal in the win-win situation for both country, for sure, I believe everyone in the team, both the principal investigator and also the junior researcher, can grow up together very well. Our project is already finished, but I feel like it's just a starting point, because we still collaborate and the collaboration is bigger and bigger every day. So lastly, I would like to thank for the Junior Research Fellowship in 2018, PHC Siam, and also my university for the great support, and also all of the related funding source. And thanks everyone to take me here, to listen me here. If you have any question, please don't hesitate to ask me.
Thank you, Dr. Duangja. That's a wonderful presentation. Just
Thank
excellent,
you.
very inspiring. And yeah, I mean, a few things that really struck me. Well, before I go to those points, the first comment that came into the Q&A box here says, and I'm quoting, "I'm very impressed with Assistant Prof. Duangja's journey with French scholarships and relationships." So that's the first comment that came in on the chat box, which is very nice. A couple things I wanted to pick up on from your presentation. One is the initiative that you showed in having despite having no prior contact with France, no partners in France, etc., you were able to find a French partner. So that's point number one. Number two, and my colleagues here at NASA also kind of were quite pleasantly surprised how productive you were in the project. I think you said you had 21 publications in 21 journals, which is exceptional over 2 years, extraordinary. So maybe we can come to that. That's point two. And then just number three, just the fact that you've been so adaptable, that you were able to push ahead with your project despite COVID, and you also learned from that. So maybe we can just come to this point about finding a partner, because this is a question we get not just with this program, but with many programs, particularly from young researchers. They don't yet have their networks built up. So if you could just talk a little bit more about how you mentioned sort of searching on Google, et cetera, but how did you actually approach the person that you identified that you wanted to work with? I guess what I'm getting at is how did you present yourself? How did you introduce yourself to them? Because you said they responded right away. So clearly you said something you said the right things.
Yeah, I think first, I know what I want. I know what is the research that I would like to conduct in France, because the call for proposal of the Junior Research Fellowships is really attractive me. And at that time, there are 10 days before the deadline. I need to prepare the proposal very urgently. If I want to take the challenge, I need to find a partner as quick as possible. So I just go to the Google, type the wording, the keyword of the research interest that I really want to work in France. And then I found many publications. I just see the title of publication in the high quality journal and see who is the corresponding author. In every publication, you will have the email of corresponding author. I just find the right work that I would like to research together and find a team. I don't want to stay in Paris because when I am in Thailand, I always in Bangkok, the capital city. When I was in Japan, I'm also in Tokyo. I would like to find some some place that I can do the research with peaceful feeling. Not too much people, but the institute should have the good and effective equipment. So in the publication, you will see the affiliation of the author. You will know where is the team located. So I prefer the team in charge. And I just did one. I just did team. I just emailed to him like I start with, okay, so I am Dong Zaitang Manitam, a very young lecturer from Mahidol University.
Yeah.
I lead your publication and I really would like to work with this team. I think this is really, attractive. And briefly introduce myself, like, okay, I just finished my PhD, I just finished my postdoc in Japan, I just start my career with a permanent position in the Faculty of Pharmacy, Mahidol University, just that in my email. And I told him, if you are interested to work together, I would like to apply for the Junior Research Fellowship Program from French government via the French Embassy in Thailand. And I just tell him sincerely, I will never let you down if you choose me. And he replied me within 2 hours.
That's wonderful. Well, I mean, you've said a couple of things there. One is you knew what you wanted. You were very clear on what you were looking for. But the other thing is, I think that you researched carefully, the person that you were writing to. So you're showing that you've done your homework, so to speak. So I think for those participants listening today that don't yet have a French partner, we've just had a wonderful example of somebody who also did with a French partner, and they were very successful in the program. So it can be done. You don't need to have your partner or prior contacts. You can find those. And Jenny, Dr. Jenny Almako, who will talk next, she will also sort of provide you with some advice on that. Number two, so how are you so productive, particularly during COVID in the 21 publications? How did you achieve that?
Because I know what I want, and we it mean both me and my French partner really love what we work. We develop the proposal together because we really like to do this experiment. So it seemed hard work, but it's really motivated when the first experiment done. We have a meeting together. We have a fruitful discussion together, like what can we do next. I never count the number of publications until the last December that we need to write the final report for the grant. And I count, it is 21. I never counted before. We just feel fun to work together. The publication is like a byproduct from our work, because the most important things for this PHC grant is to grow me up as a principal investigator and to grow the junior researcher in our team to be a good and effective researcher. That is our duty. I sincerely say the publication is just like a byproduct. It will come if you love your work, if you happy to work. All of this will come for every project. I believe.
And to have a good partner, as you say. So you found, you had a good partner, and that made all the difference. So you both wanted to be productive. Guillaume, Benoit, did you want any comments on Dr. Duangjai's presentation?
No, I'd just like to reflect that it's very impressive, and I'd like to thank very much Dr. Duangjai, because not only that she insists on the importance of the call for proposal and how to contact successfully the people, but also the project. I think she had a very and unique, I would say, impressive project within a few years. It's quite impressive. But just to reflect that for this project, it's actually really to support young researchers. So when at the early stage of their career, whether they are from France or from Thailand, but because we are, as you said, we are in Thailand at the French Embassy, we'd like to convey this message that if you are young for you, because it can be an opportunity for you at the very early stage to have international publication, to have visibility of that, and to demonstrate for further solid and long-term collaboration projects on the European scale, for example, that you have this ability at the early stage. So this is really what we would like to encourage. So I really thank Dr. Duangjai for that and for the impressive work and successful story. Thank you very much.
I'm really thankful for the great support from your team as well during the project.
So, Dr. Duangjai, when are you coming back to Thailand? Or are you?
I will finish my work in the end of August.
Okay. And then you're back. Then you come back to Mahidol. Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Okay. Okay. Well. Thank you, Dr. Duangjai. Really, just a wonderful presentation. Now maybe we'll move to, just in the interest of time, to our next presenter, who is also a close friend of NASDA's, and that's Dr. Jenny Nalmaco. She's joining us from Manila. I think it's Manila. I'm not sure where anyway, the Philippines anyway. And she will talk about EURAXESS and how this can help you in terms of identifying other funding programs, finding partners, but also I think what would be very useful is Jenny talking about the services that are provided, for example, helping you find accommodation if you went to France with the PHC Siam. So Jenny, over to you.
Thank you so much, Simon. I have to say, I really enjoyed the presentation of Dr. Duangjai. I think, she covers both ends of, when we do programs such as this, right? And I'm sure, Benoit and Guillaume are very happy about this because on one hand, she improves herself as a principal investigator. But what I also love so much is that she's nurturing the next generation of Thai researchers. So that's incredible. So congratulations on that. So from my part, in the next slides, I'd like to share to you what EURAXESS can do for you, especially if you're already thinking of going to France. But before that, I think you will find this interesting if you haven't already seen this. I saw this on Campus France. Just in case you need a little bit more of a push to choose France as your research destination, I saw this. These are the 10 good reasons to do research in France. And of course, number one there is that France ranks second in the world for field medals, mathematics, and fourth for Nobel Prizes. So it's ranked third in the Shanghai ranking and fourth for the impact of scientific publications. So it's not a wonder that Dr. Duangjai has produced 21 publications as well. And of course, you have a dynamic R&D environment. You have leading institutions there. And it's also a major economic powerhouse. So you have this really enabling ecosystem that makes you the best that you can be as a researcher. So I will leave this with you, of course, as a presenter, just so you can think about your top 10, the top 10 reasons to choose France. But before I go to EURAXESS, please give me a few minutes to talk also about another opportunity for you to do your mobility research in France, and that is through the MHESI EURAXESS, which is a program of the European Commission. So there are also actions such as the doctoral networks, so these are PhDs, but I want to focus on the postdoctoral fellowships that are available as well. So you can spend 1 year to 24 months in France to do your postdoctoral doctoral fellowship. And this is a bottom-up approach. So you basically come with your idea, come with your incredible research, and then you choose a host institution. And I will try to explain how you can do that, how we can help you to do that. And of course, there's also another program called Staff Exchanges, where you can choose, a French institution if you're, for example, from Mahidol or Chulalongkorn or any of the great universities in Thailand. You can choose a French institution to send your staff to and get acquainted, with the French research ecosystem, as excellent as it is, but also contribute the excellent science also that's coming from Thailand. So I wanted to show that because that is another opportunity apart from the PHC Siam program. And of course, the main objectives are the same. It's really to foster excellence through the implementation of research, to enhance creative and innovative potential, all of these things. The call will now open on the 12th of May, and it will close on the 14th of September. All right. And this is the kind of, you are looking at the European fellowships for this. So moving from any country, any third country, and then going back to Europe for this one. So again, please consider the Marie Skłodowska actions as well for your postdoctoral fellowships. And to help you with that, if you're looking for a host institution, please join us for the matchmaking on the 24th, the 25th, and the 30th of this month. And there will be French institutions participating. And this will happen online over Zoom. So we will send the information to NASTA. So those of you who are inside this room right now can participate. So please watch out for that. So basically, this is matching. So if you're a postdoc wanting to do your research in Europe, and as I said, there are French institutions, excellent French institutions that are already ready to host you in their institutions. All right. So in the interest of time, I'll go now to EURAXESS. So we are an initiative of European Union, and as well as the 42 countries in the European research area. We offer information and support for researchers wishing to pursue their research careers in Europe or with European partners. And of course, as we all want, we want to have a growing global network of researchers that really work together, not only to produce excellent science, but also to address the global challenges that we are facing now. So this is just a snapshot of the countries that are part of the European research area. Of course, France is prominently there. And we are not just in the hub here in ASEAN. EURAXESS Worldwide is a community of mobile researchers connected to Europe, also from other hubs. So we have in US and Canada, Australia and New Zealand, Korea, all of these countries. So we are basically everywhere. So these are our services for mobile researchers like you, or those of you who are planning to go to France to do your postdoc or to do your research. On our job funding portal, you can look at thousands of research fellowships and funding offers in Europe. You can, if you have chosen France, and I think today all of you will, because of the excellent presentation of Dr. Duong Jai, you can actually narrow down the search. Just put France there, and all of the positions and offerings in France will be there. So as of our last count, we have over 13,000 research jobs positions available, and also fellowships and funding. So please check it out. So you can just Google us at EURAXESS. There's also a partnering tool. If you are a Thai institution wanting to find a research partner, there are also thousands of individuals, research organizations, and businesses inside EURAXESS as well. And here I think this has been talked about from the very beginning of the presentation, how to find your host. And that is always, sometimes a challenge, but always a question because you don't know where to start sometimes. And I think this is one way that we can help you. In our platform, you can actually already try to find a host in France. So you can just type, a keyword there, and it will populate, it will come out with answers, and you can choose, you can start already to contact the French institution that you want to partner with. So inside the website itself, you can just go to EURAXESS, click on hosting, and then you can find the database. We also provide information, and later on I will show you the specific EURAXESS France website, so you can see the services that are offered there. So there's comprehensive information for mobile researchers on living and working in Europe. And of course, we offer personalized assistance. When you're there, it's free of charge. Finding a house finding housing, for example, or maybe your visas, or maybe something about your research that you want to work with, or maybe the best place to find relaxation, maybe when you want to have a break with your research, all of those things. There's a network of national experts in France that can help you do this. And we have also support on training and info sessions as well on a lot of other topics. So you can just get in touch with us regarding that. But I wanted to focus on EURAXESS in France. So there are more than 60,000 researchers from more than 144 different countries that have already benefited from the services of EURAXESS France, regardless of their research field. So you can be humanities or in the natural sciences, or in BGC or whatever. There's really an open environment in France, and there is a great support from the EURAXESS service centers located in France. So what do they offer, basically, the EURAXESS centers in France? First, they, for example, in preparation of your stay, assistance on like residence permits, work procedures, they can help with that. Also to help you settle in France, assistance in finding accommodation, or maybe questions about your insurance, how to open a bank account, which was always my question before, which bank to choose and which one has the best rates, also the transfers as well. Also to help you with daily administrative procedures. So, Social Security, taxes, pensions, benefits that you can have as you are a postdoc in France. They can help you answer these questions. Also, because you can definitely enjoy France much more if you speak the French language. So, if you want to learn French, they can help with that. Cultural activities. France is the perfect place, to learn about, culture. French culture is incredible, as you know. It's more than just going around, but the food, the people, a lot of things to see. Also sports, even questions about babysitting and children, as the School of Children, the EURAXESS service centers in France can help you. So they're really there to make sure that you are taken care of. And I wanted to click this, and I hope it works. Hold on. Yeah, here. Okay, so this is the site of EURAXESS France. So if you look at information and assistance, it has a lot of information here already. Getting ready for your stay, accommodation, security, family, even the French banking system, French language, French culture, working in France, even leaving France. So when you leave France, they have a departure checklist here, and a lot more information. So if you are, I've already decided to go, please take a look at EURAXESS France. And when you click here, for example, in the French EURAXESS centers, you will see 40. Right now there are 44 centers in France, and they tell you here what the expertise is and how they can help you, of course, the contact and their location. So it's really a wealth of information that can help you, be at your best as a researcher, and also be at your best as a person, as you experience also France in all its best as well. So please take a look at that. I will also send the links to make sure that you have that. And also, as we know, especially in Paris, it's always difficult to find accommodation. EURAXESS actually created a housing guide for international researchers to make it better. So I will also have inside this presentation, there is a link. So once you decide, you can go directly to that. So you can just contact your EURAXESS service center, and of course, look at the offers that are there for you. There's also this site. Again, if you click on this, you can see This is also, a lot of more information about daily student life in France. I mean, for this program, of course, you are postdocs, but there's a lot of information that you can also get from this. A lot of discounts I found out as well that you can avail of while you're there. So please check it out. So if you click on this, and I'll give the presentation again. So in the interest of time, you can check it out yourself. Okay, so and if you still have other questions, please get in touch with us. So as you know, I'm Dr. Jenny Almaco. I'm one of the regional coordinators. There is another regional coordinator who is based in Singapore. That's Dr. Susan Renzo Vasu. You can contact us through this email. We are very happy to help you out. I am particularly assigned for Thailand and Vietnam. So when you have questions on this, please let me know. So that's it from my end. Thank you so much. And yeah, see you in France.
Thank you, Jenny. Nicely done. Very good summary of all the information and support services that EURAXESS offers. So message to all the participants today, the EURAXESS, and I know EURAXESS quite well. It is a fantastic network. And it's not just about funding opportunities, but you can find research partners. And as Jenny just outlined at the end of her presentation, these EURAXESS service centers. I've dealt with a number of those service centers directly, not just in France, but elsewhere. And they do deliver. So they're not just sort of sweet words. They actually really do help individual researchers with things like accommodation or advice on healthcare, et cetera. So there are people in those centers that will really, help you through the kind of relocation process. So thanks, Jenny. Excellent. I think in the interest of time, we've got to probably bring this to a close. Just a few comments, I guess. One is, I think today, though this was an event about PHC Siam, we heard about a number of other funding programs. Other programs offered through Campus France. Jenny mentioned the MSCA, the Postdoctoral Fellowships, that call is opening, I think, in 2 days' time. That can also take you to France. And of course, there are lots of other funding opportunities on the EURAXESS website. We will be sharing today's presentations with everybody that joined today. We'll probably do that late tonight or first thing tomorrow morning. And I think if we can, we'll include in that email the MHESI contacts for Thai researchers, the contacts that they can approach, or you can approach, I should say, about the Thai funding available for this call, because there were a number of questions on that. You can also, any questions you have about this program or others, you can also contact us at the NASDA Research Support Office. So there are our contact details, and we're happy to help. And we may not, have the answer ourselves, but we're pretty good at finding answers for researchers. Guillaume, any final comments from you or from Benoit?
No, just thanks now Jenny also for her excellent presentation and information. I think it's very nice to have this combination of different source of information, advices that are existing with people just behind the website that you can consult. It's very lively and very to have this kind of information to share. And I also would like to thank for showing that EURAXESS actually is a very good gateway for researchers, information, and ability to connect. And not always successful. Thank you very much, and thanks, of course. We have also some points that are not raised. We are ready to answer questions. So thank you very much. And thank you, Dr. Jai.
Thanks, Guillaume. Dr. Duongchai, final words from you. I think you're on mute, Dr. Duongchai.
Okay, so
Yeah,
is it
great.
sorry, I forgot to turn on the voice. So my last word is for those young researchers who would like to try this PHC grant mobility program. So I would like to encourage everyone to try, because when I was try this grant, for sure, I don't have any confidence that I will get it, but I just take the challenge and do my best. Finally, I get it. So I believe all of you can do it very well, better than me. So good luck for every application.
Thank you, Dr. Duongchai. Jenny, final words from you.
Yeah, please sign up for our newsletters because we do send updated list of opportunities every 2 weeks. And then, please also follow our social media accounts. And thank you so much, NASA and the French Embassy, MHESI, for this opportunity. We really greatly appreciate becoming part of all of these talks, and very happy to share. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny. So yes, thank you to all the speakers. Thank you to the participants who joined today. Before you sign off, could we please ask you to take a minute or so and just fill in the questionnaire that you'll see on the right-hand side of your screen. This is a feedback form. We do pay attention to these. This helps us design better events in the future. So your honest answers would be very much appreciated. So just take a minute or two if you could and complete that. And we will be keeping you informed of future events like this, future info sessions, training sessions, etc. So thank you all very much. Wishing you a good afternoon. Good morning, I guess, to you, Dr. Duongchai.
Yes, thank you.
And we hope to see you all again in the very near future. So thanks, everyone.